Welcome back to another episode of It's in the Details. As always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment if you are so inclined. Your support is appreciated. We are wasting no time getting into what I want to talk about today. I think I knew I wanted to talk about this show by episode 2. And funny enough, I'm not really sure where to start. I do know where to start. Thank yous. Thank you to Roger. My boy hit us with this recommendation day 2 of the podcast. Episode 2 of the podcast, Roger came through with this recommendation. I would also like to thank Roger's friend who recommended it to him, Celeste. I don't even think we've ever met, but thank you. Because I've heard about Korean dramas, I don't know, years. I've been hearing about Korean dramas for years, and I just said, I'm not getting into it. I'm just not going to. I'm not getting into it. I don't really have a reason either. I wasn't interested in reading my TV. But over time, I watched Parasite in theaters. If you have not seen Parasite, another Korean gem. If you have not seen Parasite, see Parasite. Okay? But you're going to read it because it's in Korean. That's how these things go sometimes. Sometimes you got to read some stuff to get the good stuff. Okay? But for me, Itaewon Class. Okay? Itaewon Class was the perfect introduction to Korean dramas for me. I don't know if the other Korean dramas are like this one. I don't know if they're better. I don't know if they're worse. But I don't care because it's catch-up time. It's catch-up time for Korean dramas in my household. That's number one. That's what you need to know. Thank yous. And it's catch-up time because this Korean drama was fire beginning to end. Now, what I do here is attempt to get you interested in things without spoiling them. And I think I'll do a pretty good job today. But, episode 1. A roller coaster. Put it this way. I watched episode 1 2 weeks before I watched episode 2. Now, Damien, were you busy? No, I wasn't busy. We're locked in our houses for the most part. I wasn't busy. I needed a break. A big-ass break between episode 1 and 2. Now, it's not because I was so physically and mentally exhausted from watching episode 1. It was physically and mentally exhausting, but I wasn't so much so. But what I needed was a break to reset and get physically and mentally prepared for what this show was clearly going to be. Because episode 1 took you all over the damn place. Okay? All over the place. You might cry. You probably laugh. You probably let out a few huhs. But episode 1 is all of it. Okay? The other thing about this show is this show takes place over about 15 years of these people's lives. About 15 years. There's a vendetta. There's envy. There is deception, betrayal, all sorts of growth, love story, all sorts of stuff, right? And over the course of these 15 years, every single character's physical appearance changes. Not just their clothing. People come up, people blow up, have glow-ups, all sorts of things. All the things happen in this show. Except one man. The lead character doesn't change. He looks exactly the same from when we meet him until we're done with the show. Exactly the same. have any words, and it makes sense. It makes sense that he doesn't change. It makes perfect sense once you watch it. You're like, I don't know why everybody else's hair is changing and his isn't, but it doesn't. It is man, it's like 3 shows and it's so much is going on. That main character, again, these are all Korean actors and actresses. I don't know any of them. That main character, if he was not already an enormous star, he is, I don't know, what would be equivalent? He's not like a Leonardo DiCaprio sized star or anything like that, but I mean, remember when Game of Thrones was popping and everybody was in love with Jon Snow? He's got to be that kind of star in Korea, if not bigger. Right? He could be bigger, I don't know, but I'm saying, like, remember when Jon Snow was popping off and Jon Snow's character was the do the right guy? He was doing the right thing all the time, giving people chances. Remember? Ladies were swooning. I'm sure some men were swooning too. You know, everybody was swooning for some Jon Snow. The Kit Harington is his real name. This dude must be on that Jon Snow right now because he puts it down. And the character is just that kind of endearing. There's some wiggle room. You'll see it. Watch it. You'll see it. There's some wiggle room for how endearing he might be. But I think people love this dude, and it makes sense. And I feel like I'm a Korean drama newbie. Okay, so this is my first one, but I feel like there are things you can expect out of Korean dramas, right? Like I haven't seen any. But judging by the people that I know that like them, okay, I assume there are love stories. There's definitely love stories. What is a drama without some good love stories? There are also betrayals, as I think I mentioned earlier. There's definitely some betrayals. There's some deceit, right? There's money. There's probably lots of money. There's some fools. How did these fools get in the show? Is this how you do comic relief in a drama? By putting some fools in it? There's some people you hate. There's some people you love. There's everything. And guys, Itaewon Class. Speaking of love stories. A good love story, they think, for TV is will they, won't they? A will they, won't they? There's a love triangle. There are will they, won't theys. You got people on the show you know they're going to put together by the end of the season, not the end of the episode, the end of the season. And you think they should be together by the end of the episode. But they put them together at the end of the season. They go on break. When they come back from break, they had a bad vacation or whatever it is, and they're broken back up. They keep will they, won'ting you. They will they, won'ted Ross and Rachel. They will they, won'ted a lot of people. They got the love triangles, as I mentioned. This show, okay? This show. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, stop what you're doing and look at me. If you're driving, pull over. I'll wait. Pull over safely. You got love triangles. Itaewon Class went for a love square. Square. Love square. Okay? A love square. And a love triangle is hard enough just relatable wise. A love triangle's hard enough because the likelihood that it's definitely going to work with one of these people. Like usually back when I was growing up, there was the dude was the person that two people wanted, right? And one girl was blonde and the other girl was a brunette. Always. They always did. You remember they did that foolishness all the time. There was never two brunettes. It was rarely ever two blondes, right? But you can look at that guy and you know he's into blondes or he's into brunettes. You didn't have to keep that up with us. We knew, okay? He's going to pick the blonde. He's going to pick the brunette. We know you could pretend this love triangle all you want. Will they, won't they? There's a little bit of that in this too, okay? But this love square involved the person who didn't stand a chance. So technically a love triangle. But they squared it up for us. But my favorite part of this love square, I hope you're still pulled over. My favorite part of this love square is at some point in the show, I'm not going to tell you how deep, I'm not going to tell you who. At some point in this show, okay, one of these people in the love square gets the bad news. You know the bad news. I don't want you. Okay? One person gets that bad news. And this show went so deep into their bag of tricks that they said, this is such a cold moment in our program that as this person gets hit with these icy words, we're going to make it snow. It was so cold that they had to remind you how cold it was. And they made it snow on this person's head. Snow. That was the minute. That was the minute I knew I was a lifelong Korean drama lover. That was it. Watch it. Watch it and tell me you've ever seen anything colder happen on TV in your whole life. Further information. This is about year 8. Remember I told you the show traverses through 15 years of these people's lives? This is about year 8. All of it happens in Korea. Okay? It didn't snow one time before this person got that bad news. The show saved the entire snow budget. The show saved the entire snow budget to make it snow on this person's head when they got that bad news. Now, if that's not enough for you to turn this show on, I'm not sure how you got here listening to me talk about anything. Okay? That's gotta be enough. And there's more. There's so much more. But icy cold, she got that bad news. They got that bad news. But the show also, the brilliance of the characters, the brilliance of the script, the brilliance of the acting. Yo, I mean, these people, again, there's some caveats, but I don't really think they matter. I've never seen these people act before. Okay? I can't understand any of the words coming out of their mouths. Right? We are relying, because this is going to be a we situation. We are relying on someone translating these words into English for us. And I gotta say, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, I felt like, oh, he definitely said that. He definitely said that. He put those words in that order. He chose that word I've never used in my whole life. He definitely said that in Korean. That's true. That's true. And then there was like a 10 to 20% of the time it was like, whoops, that regular subtitle person, the regular translation person had a day off. They had to take care of their kids. They had other stuff to do. And this one piece of this episode, I don't believe it. The words, they're too rudimentary, you know? Like, it's just all of a sudden someone's fourth grader is doing the translation. But that's rare. It's very rare. And you going into it knowing I said this, it might even be fun. But it's rare. But they capture the reverence for the strength of the strength you believe is in the culture. They capture the ideology of the characters. Like, guys, I don't get excited about a lot of stuff, a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies. I definitely do. You've seen me get pumped about a lot of stuff. But I binged this, y'all. I binged it. You've heard me talk about binging one thing. I binged this. I was knocking out 2-3 episodes a day. That might not be binging for everybody, but you know it's binging for me. 2-3 episodes a day. There were several times where I was looking at my phone like, it's 1:15. We should watch one more. We should watch one more episode. It's 1:15 in the morning. Each episode is an hour. That's 2:15. If I get to bed immediately, get up by 8:30, that's 6 hours and 15 minutes. That's worth it. Just press play. Netflix, press play. A lot. 16 episodes. You know what happened around episode 12, 13? Doom. Impending doom. It's almost over. I felt the sadness creep up. I felt it. There's one season, 16 episodes. Fire episode after fire episode after fire episode. And once you get to about 12 or 13, you're like, I want to know what happens at the end of this story. And you know what else I'd like? More story. Can you give me some more story? It's not like they didn't even wrap it up. They wrapped it up. They wrapped it up pretty good, I'd say. But I need more. I need more Itaewon Class. I need more of those actors and actresses. I need more. I need so much more. They had... I'm just bouncing all over the place, y'all. They had one character in this show. She's pretty prominent. She's a pretty prominent character. And I don't know if this is the actress. I don't know if these were notes in the script. But 95% of the time you see this woman, she looks weepy. Just weepy. Like she just finished sobbing around the corner. Someone called her name and she, what? And the eyes are red and the face is red. She's just always weepy. She could have been happy. She could have been sad in the show. Weepy. It just stood out. I don't know why. I don't know why she looks so weepy. I follow her on Instagram now. She doesn't look that weepy all the time. Also, you should get into following some of our Korean and Japanese brothers and sisters on Instagram. it's a whole different kind of Instagram than you're getting following just people from North America. It is fantastic. The way their cities and towns look, you just get to see it. It feels intimate in a more intimate way than just watching a TV show. Seeing what these people are taking pictures of is fantastic. Plus the fashion. The fashion in this show. I almost forgot about this. There's one character, a lady, a more mature lady. Her fashion is on point. Her earring game, okay? Pay attention to there's two more mature ladies. I can't remember anybody's name, and I could barely pronounce them. Nothing but love, but I can't do it. But there's two mature ladies. The younger of the mature ladies, her earring game is, I'm not sure if I love them or just love looking at them, but she had one earring. The earring went from here down to here. That's a little bit exaggeration. Here, about 4 inches for the people watching or listening on audio. But the earring curved out away from her face, and it had a little pearl sitting in it. What? I also think she had a pair that might have connected, like a chin strap underneath. I think she had one that connected to the dress and the shirt or something. I watched it about 2 weeks ago. All those memories aren't that fresh. But pay attention to the fashion. The fashion is wild. Like wild good. There's some wild what? But like wild good too. Man. Guys. I'm sorry. This one is a rambling one, but the passion should tell you need to go see this show. Remember that buffoon I was talking about? That idiot? The idiot in the show? I don't know who that actor is either, but he deserves more roles and awards because I've never disliked someone I don't know as much as this guy. Also, this might be slightly controversial, the most punchable face I've ever seen in my life. One of my friends who I told about the show hit me up and said, this dude has a punchable face. And I said, the most punchable face. And I don't even get into the violence like that. But this man's face. Speaking of physical changes throughout the show, that punchable face man, they switched up his hair mid-season, and his face looked considerably less punchable to me. So maybe it was his hair. It wasn't his hair. Maybe it was not his hair. He's got a punchable face, but his hair made his punchable face far worse. I finished the 16th episode. And I think I sighed something. I was happy that I'd made it. I was happy that I'd seen it. And then I realized, I guess I just watch Korean dramas now. I guess that's it. HBO, save your Game of Thrones knockoffs. Big Brother, it's me and you till I die. I mean, there's a Dexter reboot coming. No, thank you. It's just Korean dramas for me from now on. That's not true. But it was that good. And I do wonder if I started with a different Korean drama, would I feel this way? I'm going to find out. You know I'm going to find out. But I wondered if I would still feel this strongly about the power of the Korean drama, because the ups and downs and the ins and outs, the fashion, the decisions, the acting, the weepy lady, the man whose look never changes. Oh, Lord. Roger, Celeste, thank you. Itaewon Class, go get it. My F1 folks, should be all of you by now. If we're being honest, it should be all of you. Sorry for clearing the throat all up in your ears, but in speaking to my girl Linda recently, she put that fire back in me to move through Drive to Survive. I'd only rationed out 4 episodes. So this past weekend, I watched 3 more. I got 1 left. If you have not seen Drive to Survive yet, just get into it, because I didn't think it would get better and better, but some of the races that happened last season made the show better. The drama palpable. Okay? But if you have not yet watched a race, this coming weekend, I think that's the 17th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, something like that. This coming weekend, they go to Silverstone, a track in the UK. And F1 is debuting a new format. Okay, so traditionally they'd have a couple practices. That on 1 or 2 days, then they'd have a third practice, they'd have qualifying, then you'd have the race on Sunday. This weekend, they have a practice, then they have qualifying, then they have practice, then they have a sprint race, which I believe is only 30 minutes. Probably you'll see something like 30 minutes plus a lap. So when the 30 minutes is up, they'll race 1 more lap, and they'll take that sprint race, which hopefully will be entertaining. I'm not sure. I've watched it in F2. It's fine. But those cars are so different. Drivers are so different. But they'll have a sprint race. The order you finish in the sprint race will determine how you line up on the grid for the race. Okay? So if you've been wondering if you should get into it, you got a little tasty little Timbit-sized race to get you going this weekend, and then you could determine whether or not you want the whole 1.5 to 2 hour race on Sunday. But Saturday, we got the sprint race, so check it out. Lewis Hamilton has been getting his ass bust for about a month and a half now. Maybe he'll figure it out. Max Verstappen has been bussing ass for the last month and a half or so, other than the time when his tire exploded and he almost crashed into every wall on the track. And Lando Norris, you've heard me talk about Lando before. He's a little English guy. He's about 21, 22 years old. He's been driving his tail off, and he's a really nice, funny guy that also doesn't take any shit. So I think you'll like him. But there's so many drivers for you to like. There's so many storylines. You should definitely check it out this weekend if this is the first time you'd ever really consider checking it out. But I think it's going to be a fun-filled weekend. It's going to be jam-packed with stuff, jam-packed with storylines. There's probably going to be some crashes because people are going to be fighting over these grid positions. It is going to be highly entertaining. I know I said that about Monaco. If any of you watched in Monaco because of me, again, I'm not apologizing because you saw some nice pictures. Monaco's beautiful, but it wasn't that enthralling a race. I think this weekend you will see some stuff you weren't expecting to see. Okay? Watch it. Enjoy it. Please. I sound like I'm making money off F1. I'm not making any money. F1 doesn't pay me to talk about this. I just love it. All right, y'all. Thank you once again for tuning in to It's in the Details. As always, remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment if you are so inclined. Take care, y'all. See you in a week. Peace.